The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
The draft has come and gone, Harry, and there go those second-round picks. Gone.
Well, yeah.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Well, it wasn't just that they were second-round picks. They were high second-round picks.
Valuable second-round picks.
I don't know what you feel about the draft. I wasn't looking at your Twitter because I just wanted to come in here and do
Here's
a show.
what I tweeted out. I'll give you one tweet, okay?
Right.
This encapsulates how I feel about the draft. Did the Sixers really trade up with Boston and draft a kid from Washington?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the thought crossed my mind because the last time we did that, we got totally hoodwinked. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was some hoodwinking that took place last night because the Celtics apparently knew that the Sixers were in love with Matisse Thybulle.
Yes.
Okay, so they're sitting there a couple picks ahead. They already took the kid from Indiana a couple picks earlier, and they're like, Danny Ainge is like, man, I think I can huckster a few extra draft picks out of these dopey 76ers again, regardless of the fact that they have this other general manager. I took the last guy with the crazy collars. Now I'm going to school Elton Brand too, because I don't want Matisse Thybulle, but the Sixers do. So I'm going to hijack them. That's what I think happened, and that I have no problem with Matisse Thybulle. I think he's a really good defensive player on the perimeter. He's another guy that needs to work on his shot. I hear people that say he's this great shooter. Well, I don't see it. I read a scouting report that said the opposite on him. So it seems to me like another guy who's a project offensive player, but he can play defense and he's athletic. Where have we heard this before?
More so with Zaire Smith than I think with Markelle Fultz.
Right, now the next thing that needs to happen, according to the Sixers, is Thybulle needs to develop an injury so he misses the entire first season.
Right.
Okay, and another redshirt year. But my point is I have no issue with taking him. I just wanted more players. You entered this draft with 4 or 5 picks, right? They end up with 2 players. Okay, one that is an offensive project. The other guy was drafted almost didn't even get drafted. So how good could he be?
You can't put any.
And they got
in that
cash.
Right.
And I hear Elton
and
Brand.
Future picks. No,
future second-round picks. But you're selling picks for cash. What? The owner needs cash. We want players.
Right.
Give me some players to see if we can throw against the wall and see what sticks.
Here's the thing: they had 2 guys that came off the bench in the playoffs last year. 2. That's it. And that Toronto series, there were 7 players that played minutes this past postseason. So at this point, for me, and listen, Elton Brand should not be crushed for not exercising the right to draft a player 34th or 36th overall or 38th or 44th, wherever he may have landed. But I think when you look at the big picture, you can wake up today and ask, why? Why didn't they? When you only had 2 guys that could legit come off the bench. Everybody else evaporated.
Right.
Just that was it. It was that fade meme where just dudes like, I'm out, and then just that's it. And next thing you know, if you take 1 or 2 guys 24th through 38th in a specific skill set. Now, I know they went defense, and that was my issue, and I don't have a problem with the player himself.
They need shooters, though, don't they?
Exactly. Landry Shamet, I think, is a perfect example of somebody you can mine later in the draft who does one thing well, and that can help you right away, as opposed to having a project. Like, here's the thing. I'd rather work on a guy who needs to get better defensively as far as, like...
But he has a natural shot.
Exactly right. Exactly right. We're not drafting, J.J. Redick out of Duke,
right?
Who couldn't get in front of anybody,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the kid
Cam Edwards,
a defensive player,
the kid that the Celtics actually drafted,
with the
pick,
34th or 35th,
right,
pick,
from Purdue, the short and stocky running back who can. Here's the thing: that kid can pull up from anywhere, though.
Yeah, he did in the tournament. Now his regular season, was not very good. He got hot in the tournament.
He did,
and he excited a lot of people. I don't know that that's who he is.
Well, Kemba Walker got hot in the tournament.
Well, Kemba Walker was hot in the regular season too, though. He was hot all the time. Okay, I know he carried his team to a national championship, but my point is, I don't know if Edwards is that good consistently. You know what I'm saying? But he can score.
Here's the thing. He's more consistent than Thybulle offensively.
Oh, no doubt about that.
Where Thybulle is going to be an impact player off the bench. But to your point about what we needed to what we have, you really needed another guy similarly to Zaire Smith. And I think more importantly, you need somebody who can knock down a shot.
Yeah.
Because at this point, here's the thing. With the money that you'll have after Harris and Butler stay, and speaking of which, this whole thing with Kawhi Leonard and
It's a farce.
And what Woj is talking about.
It's a farce.
Well,
I'm worried about it, too.
For him kicking the tires, what I read is that Woj said Kawhi is meeting with the Sixers.
Yeah. He may meet with the Sixers. I don't think it was definite.
Okay, in the event that they move on from Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Which to me is, I mean, think about all the absurd, insane analogy you can fit in there. It's like, hey, I've got a Big Mac right here, but, I've got a filet mignon. If you're willing to move on from that Big Mac, I've got, and it's no knock on Jimmy Butler, but this is the best player in the NBA who just, more than often than not, single-handedly led his team to the championship.
Exactly, and if the Sixers do flirt with Kawhi Leonard a little too much, maybe Jimmy Butler goes somewhere else, and then they lose out, on Kawhi.
Oh, so you think they're going to lose out on both?
That's what I'm saying. They run the risk of ticking Jimmy Butler off, don't they?
Yes, but at what reward? Risk versus reward.
Well,
if the reward is listen,
I would take Kawhi over Jimmy Butler.
That's my point.
But I don't think we're getting him, is my point.
Then
I
why
think this
meet?
is just a flirtation.
Well, it's not like LeBron James and Ben Simmons connection. Kawhi Leonard doesn't owe us anything.
But who knows
Leonard
what
was
Kawhi
filming
Leonard
Mike
is
Trout.
really thinking?
I can tell you what he's filming. Did you see him filming Mike Trout?
Oh, yeah?
Did you not see that?
No.
He was at the Blue Jays Angels game.
Okay, in Toronto?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was sitting front row, like as close as you could humanly possibly get, right?
Did he say to Mike Trout, I can't even see you?
No. First off, they gave him this like standing ovation, and he barely acknowledged, right? It was almost like somebody next to him kind of poked him and was like, hey, you got to do something.
This is your cue to stand up and salute the fans.
He didn't even stand up.
Do you think he's baked? Or is he just aloof, period, without any
Listen, I've smoked
extras.
a lot in my life. I've never been that big.
I'm telling you, man.
I've never been.
He gets better stuff than you.
No.
Come on, man. It's Kawhi Leonard.
I was in Canada for 6 months, all right? Yeah, 4.5 in Calgary and the other month and a half in Montreal.
Right.
All right, so anything he got access to, and I was working on movie sets.
I don't even know where he's sitting at.
Exactly.
Listen, it's not just weed. If he's baked or if he's cooked, it's not just weed.
Oh, yeah?
No, he's on something
I'm
else.
a fun guy.
Seriously, man. It's
all right, well, what
hilarious.
happened? I'm sorry to derail you.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there front row, and he's got his phone, and you can see in the actual thing him filming Mike Trout.
Was Mike Trout in the batter's box?
Yeah,
or
it was hitting. And he's just glued to it, filming. And here's a guy who nothing phases him. Think about this. Nothing phases him on the court. Nothing phases him off the court. The guy is just complete like a robot, right, to the point at which we make fun of it.
Yeah.
And here he is showing one moment of what entertains him. And of all things, where does the guy play?
In Los Angeles area. Adjacent, Orange County.
Clippers, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking, too. I think the whole thing with Kawhi.
But you don't think that if it came down to it, they could pry him? If Kawhi came and said, hey, man, why else would you meet here? That's what I don't understand.
Why'd they meet with LeBron?
Because I think
they're enamored, too. They want to look like they're being considered by all of these great players.
Well, I think the thing with LeBron, you could at least connect with Ben Simmons and
clutch management.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine. But LeBron right now is not top of mind. Top of mind, greatest player right now in the NBA to flirt with is Kawhi Leonard.
Right. So
Durant is injured. LeBron is out there hoping to attract other people, and has missed the playoffs for the first time. Nobody's thinking about LeBron really. Kawhi's the guy, so let's go meet with him. Let's try to induce him to meet with us, knowing that he's probably not coming here. I don't think he's coming here, whether they meet or not. That's my point.
So would you rather not meet with him then?
Not if I know it's going to tick off or possibly turn off the guy that I really want to have come back in Jimmy Butler. These guys are weird, man. They're all about their egos.
Well, why can't you bring in Kawhi? Well, you wouldn't be able to bring Kawhi in and keep Jimmy at the 5/190. Could you bring Kawhi in, say goodbye to Harris, that $32 million, spend it on Kawhi Leonard?
Listen, I'd much rather have Kawhi Leonard than Jimmy Butler. That's easy to say.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't think
I understand
Kawhi's
what you're
coming
saying.
here. So I want to make sure I get Jimmy Butler, and I don't want to piss him off.
That's fair.
Okay?
That's fair.
That's where I stand on this.
No, I understand that.
Now, let me read you some of this scouting report on Matisse Thybulle, okay? And I guess the kid's from Australia, right? So we got another Australian connection type player.
Yeah, but Gil's going to have this kid on coming up at 3:30, right, Josh?
Oh, he's going to have Thybulle.
Yeah, he's going to have Matisse
good.
Thybulle is going to come on. We have a clip of it to kind of preview coming up as well, but I believe that he didn't spend as much time as led on.
No, he'll only, I think 6 years old,
Right,
I think
right.
he moved out of there. But anyway,
So
extremely.
do we still say that he's from Australia?
Well, I guess originally.
Where did he move to?
Don't know. I don't know.
Outer Banks?
Yeah, okay. All right, I got extremely limited overall offensively. I'm reading this from the ESPN draft site, which has this scouting report. Averaged just 12.5 points per 40 minutes over his 4-year career.
9 points last year.
Not an advanced ball handler. Limited to mostly transition runouts and spot-ups.
Yeah.
Lacks a degree of aggression overall offensively. Feel around the rim as a finisher isn't great. Will he ever be more than a fifth option on offense? ?
He seems to be a lot like a younger, less aggressive, less talented on offense Mike Scott. Am I missing something? Or I guess he's not as tall, but he plays the wing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
got long arms.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I was going to get to that. Like, he plays the wing.
Yeah.
But
He's
if you're playing a small lineup, let's just say you're playing a small lineup with him at the 4 and Embiid at the 5. He's got enough he's got enough of wingspan and athletic ability where he can play a small 4.
Mm-hmm. He's 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, it says.
Yeah, he's got enough athletic. I mean, this guy was Defensive Player of the Year.
He's very
in the Pac-12.
athletic. Yeah, I have no problem with his defense.
He creates turnovers, which is really good.
It's just I just can't help but get away. There's another guy where that's sort of an offensive project, and I'm like, they need shooting.
No, I understand.
You know what I mean? Like, if they could have gotten another shooter with this guy, I'm fine with it. Not a guy that barely made it into the draft. Like, I don't know what to make of the Shyok kid. He apparently could shoot.
Yeah,
but
I think what will be interesting is, will there be room for – here's the thing. Will there be room for both Zaire Smith and, assuming Zaire Smith's healthy, and Thybulle?
Yeah, and I don't even know what he is.
Well, that's the bigger part of this, is that they know something we don't about Smith, and they draft a guy they feel is better – or at least better equipped.
Oh, so that means that last year's draft pick they might be out on already? Well, that doesn't make me feel good. But they could have had Mikal Bridges, and they traded him for this guy.
Well, they could have had Mikal Bridges last year. They could have had there were other guys, not just Carson Edwards, on the board as well. But here's the thing. I don't know if now moving forward you look at this and say, once you do fill out the roster, if it's a couple of guys like veterans they can bring in and if there's a mid-level
veteran shooters,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, then I'm fine with it. But at this point, right now, I don't know that they can do that.
I'm fine with it to an extent, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time or room. Are we going to run a 10-man rotation? Is that what Brett Brown's going to do next year?
Oh, like Pop?
Exactly, where you're going to have a lot of time in the rotations for both Smith and Thybulle to be out there doing similar things.
And really develop their games.
Well, offensively, both need to further develop their game, as opposed to a 30-year-old veteran who you paid a lot less to kind of come in here and knock down shots, where you see late in like defensively, they're good. Offensively, they need, not good as far as like they don't need help, but offensively, they're average.
Mm-hmm.
When Joel Embiid is out, they are non-existent.
Your question kind of surprises me.
And they played a lot of zone at Washington, too, because they had the coach from Syracuse, the assistant coach for Boeheim, went out there. I forget his name. Doesn't matter. But he took the head coaching job. He's done a nice job, but Hopkins, right, he plays that 2-3 zone. So, you know what I mean? Like, I know this kid's, really good and athletic. I don't doubt that he can play in front of somebody.
No, this isn't a bad
defense.
pick. It just makes you wonder. There are two things, Harry, that I ask you that make me wonder. First is how they got him, which is Boston.
Boston again.
They were sitting at a poker table, and everybody had their hands up except for the Sixers, who were playing
even
open.
Wear sunglasses when he plays poker.
Well, the Sixers don't even hold their hand up. When Boston's sitting at the table, they just show their hand.
Yeah.
That, and then also who's left on the board. And again, it's not that there is a better basketball player. It's that if you believe that shooting, which I do and I think you do as well, is a bigger need right now than defense on the perimeter, then you go with somebody who can provide that as opposed to this kid. It doesn't mean that we should be upset. We shouldn't be booing him. This isn't like a Knicks pick where it's like, oh, my God, we screwed this thing up outside R.J. Barrett.
No, this isn't Donovan McNabb.
No.
Instead of a running back.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
They're just two things that make you question, I guess, what happened. 609-403-0973 is the text board. 609-403-0973. And I guess those are the two things that I throw, with you, Harry, is that when you look at the draft itself, forget breaking down the Jonathan Simmons trade and what happens with the future second rounders, but I think most importantly, it's
getting rid of Jonathan Simmons is nothing.
No, and that just shows you how little they thought of Markelle Fultz, because ultimately what they got back from him is a stack of kindling.
Right.
So on one hand, you have the nature in which Thybulle was acquired, and the other hand, on the other part of it is who's left on the board. Now, there might be people out there that look at this and think, you know what, I'm good. I don't really trust the scoring nature of these kids that come out deeper in the first round. I think that if you're going to make a trade and you're going to identify somebody, you didn't give up a ton to do it. I don't know. I think for me it's more the former than the latter. I think Thybulle would have been available at 24.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't help but think that. He goes, Danny Ainge knows how to play cards.
This team, apparently, there's something with it, right? All right, you want to hit a couple of texts up?
Yeah, let's go. And by the way, that Cam Johnson didn't go.
Edwards.
Cam
Johnson.
The kid from North Carolina.
Yeah.
He was in a lottery.
Yeah.
Remember there were some projections where he's available for the Sixers? I'm like, there was no way that was going to happen.
And how about Bol?
Yeah, boy, did he fall. He was like worse than the Aaron Rodgers of the draft.
He made me think about that. All right, so
he did get hurt.
He got hurt, but it makes you think how much trust there was in him initially. Because remember,
he was a lottery pick.
Yeah, but the kid that they drafted last year was also banged up. Was it Michael Porter Jr.?
Oh, yeah, right.
Right, but that dropped him. Now, again, I'm not comparing the two talent level, but what I'm saying is that there was a much larger drop following injury than somebody like Michael Porter Jr., where it was just assumed this guy's
going to be Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, because they traded with the Heat, I guess, to get Ball, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is another guy. Now, again, with Porter Jr., the expectations were number 1, number 2 pick
Number
overall.
1, number 2, right.
But he fell, and I thought that if you're going to start that slide, I wouldn't be shocked, if he fell to the end of the first round. This one was a much bigger fall.
Yeah, precipitous.
So what about what was a kid from the Browns? Why am I blanking on his name? With a B? Not Baker Mayfield, not
Cleveland
Braylon
Browns?
Edwards. Yeah, the quarterback. Remember the kid who came out that everybody thought was going to be really good?
Tim Couch?
No. Come on, fellas. Josh Hunter. The Browns quarterback.
How long ago?
This is maybe Brady Quinn.
Oh, Brady Quinn.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
from
you.
Notre Dame.
That's what I'm saying. There was a B. I had the B there.
Well, they've
I
had
threw
so many
Baker,
damn
I threw
quarterbacks.
Braylon.
I think they had 20 quarterbacks in the last 20 years.
They've drafted like 200 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Eytan, you got to give us a little more than
Narrow
Browns
it down
quarterbacks.
a little bit.
Hold on a second.
Jesus.
Hold on a second. The fact that we all got it here, right, in a matter of 20 seconds with just a B name.
Not Spurgeon Wynn.
No. Spurgeon.
Not
Charlie
Johnny
Fry.
Manziel?
Yeah, Johnny Manziel.
Charlie
Fry
Fry.
from Akron.
Wow.
Derek Anderson?
Oh, man, he was a
Well,
classic.
just go down the list
I
of
think
that
he's still
jersey.
in the league.
Kelly
that guy.
Holcomb?
Kelly Holcomb. Was he an Oregon guy? Kelly Holcomb?
Oregon, was he Pac?
That was Oregon State.
Yeah,
Oregon State. Okay.
Yep.
right.
But remember when Brady Quinn,
Yes.
everybody expected Brady Quinn to go high.
Yeah.
And he
well,
was
because he
ju-
went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, but
Well,
he
so did
sat
Deshaun
there.
Kaiser. The Browns drafted him, too.
Yeah, but
Oh, that's
remember
right.
they had a Quinn cam on the draft. They
Oh,
kept
okay.
focusing on him and focusing on him, and they were just like, "Yo,
I feel sorry
what's
for
happening?
guys
What's
like
happening?"
that.
I think he was in the green room at
Well,
some
Ball
point.
was in New York, right?
Yeah, that's
a
the worst part
That's
about
a big night for the kid. He's got to be really disappointed.
You're
right?
in New York and everything happening. All right.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if Sam Hinkie would have done a much better job with all the draft capital of the Sixers. This is on the text board, 609-403-0973.
I can't say that he would have, though, because he'd
Well-
love to just trade second-round picks for the sake of second-round picks.
Basically destroyed starting with Markelle Fultz, then everything we gave up for Harris and Butler, knowing that we may not keep either one of them, and now this, Jason and Cape May. All right, here's what I'll say. We have to separate what Elton Brand did. Here's why I'll criticize Elton Brand this past season. Not for going for it so much as not really recognizing that the two guys that he went for it with
Yeah.
weren't really ready to go for it. But then at the same time, you look at how close they were to forcing that overtime to Toronto, and then you can't really fault Elton for doing that either.
I love this. This ESPN is just awesome. Kawhi might meet with the 76ers, in addition to Clippers, Knicks, Nets, and Raptors.
See, I missed the
they might. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There's nothing definite
No,
here.
no,
This is
it's
a big
different now.
guess.
I thought it said to meet, not might meet.
And that's the thing. I don't think anybody really knows what Kawhi Leonard's thinking.
Yeah,
I really don't.
He's going to stick around in Toronto for another year and win another championship, or
sign a 1-and-1
yeah,
deal.
or he's going to go to the Clippers.
Well, see, the signing of the 1-and-1 deal is interesting. When you look at this is interesting. When you look at what just happened with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson.
With the injuries?
With injuries.
Right.
And your agent is going to say, yeah, just sign a 1-and-1. What happens if Kawhi Leonard goes up for a dunk and comes down awkwardly on that knee and tears it up?
Well, you're not going to sign a long-term deal in Toronto with 3 of your guys on the verge of being off the books in the next year. So that's it.
No, I'm saying you sign a long-term deal with the Clippers.
Well, that's my
town.
point. That's my point to your addressing the injury
I'd
concern.
be very leery of a 1-and-1 deal when I just saw 2 of the best players in the league are going to miss next season, at the cusp of their free agency because of,
Now,
injury.
if I'm Toronto, I try to convince Kawhi to sign the deal, an extension, and then trade him.
Sign and trade so they can get something for him.
To the Clippers. Lakers ain't giving you anything.
No.
That's the difference. All right, Carson Edwards led the Big Ten Conference in scoring with 24 points a game in the regular season on a team with no other pros. It wasn't just in the tournament. Get a clue about what you're talking about.
No, but he wasn't shooting the 3 as well in the regular season. That was my point. I know he can score. Okay?
Yeah.
Get a clue. All right.
Yeah, Harry watches a lot of college basketball.
Yeah, okay.
At the very least,
he went off in the tournament.
From a betting
it just
standpoint.
exploded.
I just had to read that because I knew you'd enjoy it.
I like the kid, but I just don't know that he's the guy we saw in the tournament at the next level consistently. That's
I'd rather have that than what we have with the caveat of saying I'm not upset with what we have. Is that fair?
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right.
Why are we in agreement? Here I wanted to argue with you today.
Today?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can think of something else.
Let's get Gil on, because I guarantee you he's not in lockstep.
Oh, yeah?
With
Is he
us.
pro? Is he
Guaranteed.
pro? What happened?
I guarantee.
Let me tell you about this. Matisse Thybulle is perfect fit. You move up like that. You give up so much like that. It's perfect. It's worth it. I can't wait to read the text. Sometimes what I do is I like to monitor. I only did it once where I actually injected myself, but I like to monitor because we have the same text board as them.
Where do I begin?
So we have I like to monitor the text board when Gil's on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And, it changes.
Oh, you do?
Right, yeah, I do. I just like to read the text.
So you're just kind of spying on his show.
Well, no, I'm listening to his show on the app, right?
Right.
But what I'll do is I'll every now and again, if he says something that I know I disagree with, I'll go to the text board and see what people are texting.
Okay.
And
to see if they are in agreement with you.
Yeah, or just to see what they're saying to him.
Well, I noticed something
It's pretty interesting.
with the 97.3 ESPN Twitter feed.
Oh, is that right?
It is very active in the last 2 days and has actually picked up almost 100 followers.
I saw that, yeah.
Now, why do you think that happened?
I think that there is...
I think somebody else has passwords and is really utilizing it.
I'm told
to its
Hunter
fullest
Brody has the
ability.
password.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so maybe
then
should...
congrats to Hunter.
Yeah, somebody's doing it, Taking shots at Josh Henning on the Twitter account.
Yes.
I love how Mike Gill got blamed for that.
He did?
Did you not catch that yesterday?
No.
So we talked about that god-awful video of the guy who had the disjointed, double-jointed arms.
Doing the curls.
Yeah, the reverse curls. And the 97.3 Twitter account tags Josh in this. It looks like Josh Henning.
Oh.
And Josh immediately blames Gill on the air. You must have missed that.
Well,
at
Gill
Dunk
does
before.
take a lot of shots at Josh.
Yeah, he does.
Verbal and otherwise.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he was behind that.
That's true.
He's probably at lunch eating a corned beef sandwich, listening to the show, and then just got on the Twitter and just blasted Josh.
Now, Harry, we have already had one person come up, say hello.
Brian Wittig.
Say how much Brian, loves the show, enjoys listening to it on the app as we are live each and every Friday at Parks Casino today, for the next hour and a half until 2 o'clock at Parks Casino in Ben Salem. It's good.